everybody. Welcome to Tights Frame of Mind, episode 19. I am the Pantyhose King, and with me is my co-host.
Oh, the Mandy Enigma, the Titan of Tights, the Shaw of Shine, speaking.
You didn't actually say your name though when you did that.
No, though, well, the only Rob speaking. So yeah,
Yes,
I don't know. I'm trying to do my old DJ thing here.
he was drinking absinthe in the bathroom. Don't believe him. He's got troubles. He just in the bathroom drinking absinthe and huffing gasoline is what I do to get ready for the show. I know that.
Whoa. You haven't huffed enough, my man. Come on, we need a couple more puffs. You know,
Okay, all right. I'm just going to drink this. This is clearly vodka, not water.
yeah,
Mm.
clearly vodka, water right here. See,
I am
I just
so
tied it in the
drunk.
bottle.
But but speaking of horrific habits in life, there are some things that we're going to talk about this episode that I think are more along the lines of the darker side of wearing hosiery. And some of the things that as wearers we have to live with some of the maybe from the darkest side from people who give us bad names to the side that you were talking about, you and I were talking about, sort of where we really want them to come forward and embrace who they are. And even though they're not purposefully doing anything to hurt the community, and it's still it's so essential that they come out and be seen, right?
Absolutely, and it's funny. It really popped in from say a several DMs I've had here recently. And I mean, you and I, we talk to a lot of people online, and no, we do we no seriously. Um, but honestly, and I always put it out there. It's like I always tell people this: if you want to change the world, change your own. Start with your own.
Yeah.
You start with your own little world and branch yourself out and be more seen. And people are like, well, yeah, how, yeah, well, you've got your thing and you got this. I said, my thing is irrelevant. That was in the beginning. I'm out here, and when people talk to me and they notice my hosiery, the first thing I tell them is like, okay, yeah, I'm wearing pantyhose, and what about it? It's like I could care less.
Last night I was at a Tori Amos concert, and one of my friends was like, "Are you wearing nylons?" And I was wearing black tights, and I was like, "Nylons?" I was like, "Are you in the 1940s? Can you hear me?" I was like, "Do you think that I have on like a garter belt underneath this, or perhaps some pantaloons?" I was like, "Nylons? Who calls them nylons?" Like because she's like she's in her 40s like me. I'm like, it's not like
Yeah.
she was like my nana's age where it's like you actually did call them nylons. Like I don't think anybody calls them nylons anymore unless they're like vintage nylons, right?
Right. And I mean, I've talked to people who will call them stockings. And I said, well, they're not stockings, they're pantyhose. But, well, that's what I call them. I call them stockings.
It's like,
And,
okay, well, you're wrong. You call them
yeah,
the
you're
wrong name.
wrong, but I'll correct you. But, okay, I'll follow you on this.
So,
But, yeah,
okay, I've been dying to read you this, and this, you guys, I want you guys to buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be as Betty Davis says, a bumpy ride, or is it bumpy night? I don't know, but I'll tell you this much: if Betty Davis were alive and she heard this, she would literally explode in horror, which I'm pretty sure you guys will now do after I read this. Now, to give you a setup, this is I believe, a self-published book. I don't think that anybody would have possibly published this, but it is a book called Pantyhose Punishment: Why I Make My Teenage Son Wear Pantyhose Every Day and Why You Should Too. It's not available in print. It's only available in Kindle for a steal. It's $2.99. It's written by Mary Martin. Okay. Now,
hmm,
I'm thinking that's a pseudonym, but I'm going to just read you a little bit of it, and I want you, and when you're horrified, Rob, I just want you to say pause. Okay.
well, first of all, just the title alone already is throwing many flags on
It's
the play here.
it is super duper dark. Okay, so introduction. For what it's worth, when I was a girl, I was also nervous to wear pantyhose. They were uncomfortable. I didn't even know how to put them on correctly. And worst of all, I knew that when I wore them, boys were going to laugh at me. Oh, look at the prissy little princess in her nice new pantyhose. Also, if you weren't careful, boys would be able to see up your skirt, and then they'd all laugh when they saw what color your panties were. And keep in mind, I was just a normal girl. You
All
can
right,
imagine how.
hold
Go
on.
on.
First,
You can say,
first and foremost, now if she was saying it as a teenager, be a different story. The boys would be so thrilled to see her in pantyhose because the power of pantyhose is so domineering. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I mean, my God, I would want to be able to see her panties as well. But
Yeah.
continue, but continue. If she's in a younger stage, I can see where she's coming from. But
Okay, well,
continue.
I think you're being very I think you're being very generous by assuming that she's a woman at all, because I have serious doubts, but I'll go on. Keep in mind, I was just a normal girl. You can imagine how my teenage son felt when I told him he was going to have to start wearing pantyhose in school every day. Eh. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
The truth is, it was exactly what he deserved, though, because he used to be one of those boys who made fun of the girls in his class. In his case, some of the girls at his school were taking ballet classes, and he happened to find it funny when they walked around campus,
Okay.
yeah,
Or campus
in
style
their
school. Yeah.
leotards and tights. He was reluctant to tell me exactly what he said to those poor girls who were just trying to look pretty and learn to dance.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my God. But I heard from one of his teachers that he made fun of the girls by calling them babies. He said that it looked like they were wearing diapers under their leotards. Well, I wasn't going to stand by while my son made a fool of himself like this, openly disrespecting female beauty like that. I had to agree with him, though. The ballet tights can look a little childish. That's why he was going to start wearing pantyhose every day, just like his mommy. Dude,
Oh wow.
okay, I'm almost done. Okay. Although all parents love their children, I don't think any mom is going to tell you that raising kids is easy. I'll be the first to admit that my son was always naughty. Even is the womb, not a miss. Okay, that's what's written. Even is the womb. He was always kicking and moving around. Like, that's not naughty, Mary.
No,
That's
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 normal.
called the normal process of giving, of conceiving a child. But as a woman, I'm sure you know this. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised when I learned that he was causing trouble at school. I think that in this day and age, parents around the world are undergoing a sort of crisis. Technology is changing rapidly. Kids have access to all information, and they often feel empowered to resist their parents' rules. For this
Uh,
reason, I decided to look back and revive a very traditional form of discipline known as tights discipline or pantyhose punishment. As anyone who has ever worked with children knows, little boys are always more naughty than girls. The simple reason for this is that no one wants to be rowdy when they're wearing a short skirt. The solution to naughty the solution to naughty behavior in boys is to make them wear a skirt or dress and pantyhose, of course. And let me tell you, I'm almost legit considering buying this thing because I want to know how cuckoo it goes, because
wow.
it's
I mean, wow.
yeah, right. And nice, yeah.
I mean, first things first. I got a question to ask. Is this person into like BDSM or something, or
I
you
don't think
know?
this person knows what they're into at all. Like, I'm not sure they know what is going on. Like, I mean, I don't mean to be mean to Miss Mary, but that would be if I was a social worker and I discovered that like is as an actual diary, I'd be like, oh, you're not fit to be a parent. Like,
No.
you
I mean,
can't.
it's one thing if you make your kid all right. And this is just coming from being a parent myself.
Right. You don't make your children, you don't humiliate your children by forcing them to cross dress in school. Wow.
Exactly. You
Like,
don't you
as
don't humiliate them about that. No, you confront them about that. You confront them alongside the principal. You confront them about what's going on, and you do the appropriate punishment. You don't sit there and make them cross dress in the school. That's forcing your kid to do something that they don't want to do. All
mm-hmm,
right. Now if the kid out of nowhere says, "Hey, I want to wear pantyhose to
right.
school," all right,
Go for it.
that's their decision. Now, granted, if they're now I'm of the type of where I probably would say you might not want to wear it openly. You might
Or
want to do
yeah.
this first.
Or you might say, right, like, okay, just be aware people might make fun of you. Like, you could support them, but you have to understand I can't stop other people from being assholes.
Exactly. You can't stop them from being assholes. Yeah, I mean, and as my kids grew up, the one thing I always told them is, you know, you can be whoever you want. If you decide you like boys, this is what, I told my son. If you decide to like boys, that's fine. You're gay, I'll still love you no matter what. If you decide you want to be trans, I'll still love you no matter what. Told my daughter, same
Although, in
thing.
clarification, just in case anybody gets the wrong idea, Rob does not mean we decide to be anything. He means that in a
Right,
nice way. Like it's not a
right,
decision, but I just want to make sure people know you're coming from like a well-meaning
right.
place.
Right, and what I'm saying is that I will support my children with how whatever decisions they make, but when it comes to something that's an adult decision, I would caution them to not take that path or take them in a way that because people are assholes. You want to be able to
You want to
guide
protect
your
them.
child. But from what this person is talking about, this is basically forcing your child to do something as a punishment. And I've seen parents where they've sat them in front out in the median strip with a sign saying, I lied to my parents or I stole something and I'm forced to hold this sign up. You know,
It's
bravo.
it's I mean, and even that, it's like I personally am like, what does that do other than like just cause more humiliation, more
Yes.
trauma to because
Yes.
the whole point of correcting a behavior is not to cause more damage, it's to correct the behavior. So
Exactly.
this book just made me very I just was looking it up and I thought, oh my God, like I don't want to be, I don't want to be mean here, but this person seems like they're unstable. And or something's very dark happened to them. But the way they
Yeah.
view women, the way that they view cross-dressing, the way that they view pantyhose, I mean, it's demented. Like there's this one, like the real lesson here is much bigger than pantyhose. The point is that you're asking your son to obey you, to do something for you which he isn't going to enjoy. Pantyhose are simply the most feminine item of clothing I could think of. They even have little hearts on them. A cuckoo,
Cuckoo.
like
Cuckoo.
wackadoodle. I mean, I like, and the best part is Miss Mary Martin has written, and when I say written, I mean like if you could call that writing, has self-published at least like 7 versions of this book. Where
Seven.
yeah, where like
Wow.
each is about a mother being like, now, as every mother knows, what you do when you have a bad boy is you make him put on pantyhose and a nice little skirt and you take him to his prom and you make him dance with other boys. And I'm thinking, okay, why don't you just write a book about how you wish you were like a little girl growing up? I mean, come on, like, what's wrong with that? Like,
Yeah.
don't pretend you're a woman that gave birth to a child. Meanwhile, like can you imagine like somebody's pregnant and they're like, naughty baby, kicking me? You're a naughty baby, spanking their, like
Yeah.
telling the baby that they're naughty because they're moving inside the womb. I mean, I don't know if this person even has an understanding of like, I mean, rudimentary like sanity would be my thoughts
Uh,
on it.
it really scares the living hell out of me, honestly. I mean, if this is actually based on a true story, or if
Oh
it is
God.
a true story, then God help that child, honestly.
I'm honestly debating on writing Amazon and being like, is there any sort of like screening that you guys do? Because if these are if you're putting up self-published stuff, there could be people writing. I mean, this could be the tip of the iceberg. There could be much darker things being published. I personally found this to be uh like I found it to be like it felt like I was reading child abuse. And
Yes.
so and I didn't and the reason I brought it up is because these are the kind of things that when people are coming at like people who wear the guys who wear pantyhose, it's this kind of dreck that gets found out and gets thrown in our faces.
Yes.
And that's where I draw the line because you have to understand, and this goes for everything. It's like there's always going to be a fringe element of any group of people where
Yes.
you're going to have one person that's going to go out there, act a fool, or in this case, write a fool, and it's going to make things harder for the entire group. So just if anybody out there has seen this, like just disregard it. And if anybody has ever had anything like this thrown in their face where they've been called a pervert or degenerate for wearing pantyhose, just be like, nah, you're not. Uh, Mary
Personally,
is.
I would like to hear. I would like to know what our listeners think about this. I would love to hear in our comments. So if you please visit us in our Patreon, or visit us on Instagram, and let us know in the comments once you see the what's going on here, or if you want to talk to us personally, what you think. I mean, we want to know how you our listeners, how y'all feel about this, because personally, this is just like what King just said. I personally think it's child abuse. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Yeah, it's one thing if you're going to humiliate your child. It's another thing to sit there and humiliate and literally scar the living crap out of them.
It's this thing was clearly written. I don't First of all, I don't believe this is true, because
Yeah.
this is obviously some sort of like fantasy, weird fantasy that has, like, somebody who has not gone to therapy, has not addressed issues that they have. I'm willing to suspect that this might be written by a guy who is heterosexual to the rest of the world, married man who has never ever, dealt with whatever feelings that they have about, wanting to dress up, and so they have these twisted, because when you repress things, it becomes twisted and gnarly. And so this is a very misguided, in my opinion, a very misguided attempt at self-expression, or an
Yes.
idealized version of what they wished could have happened to them, because
Yeah.
they were a naughty boy that wanted to be girly. But and this is why Rob and I advocate so much for just the normalization of it, because it's that kind of repression that
Yes.
makes things bad. And with that said, let's go into your idea, Rob, that you were talking about, because I think that's a really good topic, and it's much lighter, and it's more, I think it's we're here for you. Think of us as a support bra, a giant support bra, to like handle the bosoms of problems that you have. That's a terrible image, but what can I say?
Well, and from recent DMs that I've been talking to different people, and I'm not going to out who they are.
Yes, you
Um,
out everybody. No.
I'm going to totally out everybody. No. So I put out, I like to the occasional, question and answer type thing. I always do these every once in a while, and whether it be anonymous or whatever. A lot of people don't really do the anonymous thing. I noticed that. So I did the standard question on Instagram, and what there was something that I put out there essentially, and it really kind of bugged the hell out of me. Somebody had asked me what was that question? What was the one thing about male hosiery wearers
Oh, that pisses you off or annoys
that
you?
no, that annoys me or bugs me the most? And the one thing I basically said was those who constantly hide their face.
Mm.
All right, now I have to preface a couple things here, because this is uh the latest segment of unpopular opinion.
Wait,
So,
no. I don't think it's unpopular. I think it's
oh
just,
no,
I
no,
think,
oh no, I'm just prefacing it in a funny way. It's like, because there's so I had somebody say, "Hey, look, I do wear openly, but I cannot put it on Instagram or any type of social media because of my
why?
apparel."
Why?
Right.
I don't get
If
it.
you're already open about it, and
You're
are you
walking
open up?
around wherever you live.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I get it that there are some companies out there that watch your social media, and there are, because I know some
Yes,
people
but
who have actually gotten fired for that, but that's because
fired for wearing pantyhose?
no, for worse than that, honestly.
Okay, see, that's the thing though. And here's the what's the delineation, is that if you're out there wearing shorts, a collared shirt, pants, or not pants, and shoes, and a pair of tights with your outfit, that is literally, if any HR department got
Yep.
that, they would be like, you want me to fire somebody over an outfit that you don't like? Like, there's nothing about it that is even controversial. Like, people need to stop thinking about that. This is not in the 1980s, you know,
Or
Wall
the
Street,
90s for that matter.
or the 90s. Like, the way the movement of people wanting to express themselves in any way they see, any shape or form, that's where the winds are blowing. Take advantage of that. Take
Yeah.
advantage of the fact that people cannot fuck with you now if you
Yeah.
dress the way you want to dress, unless
Yeah.
you're wearing something that is obscene. Which, and if for the record, wearing pantyhose is not obscene. People
No.
seem to think it is because of old thinking,
Yes.
because it was shocking back then, because it was something that only women wore.
Right.
That's
I mean,
why.
I'm a utility worker by trade, and even I wear my pantyhose openly at work.
Rob really can play with tools like no other.
Oh
Like,
my God, I've got tools like you, but no.
yeah, I mean,
I
there you
like,
walk at work, he's got at least two tools he's working on. I mean, it's impressive. And he still wears his pantyhose, people. That shows you how dedicated he is, because
yeah,
he wants to look good when he's working those tools.
damn right, I'm looking good and I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling good, and that's all that matters.
But the point you're making is that you're working in a job where it would have been unthinkable 20
Yes,
years ago.
20 years, 20, or even 10 years ago, for that matter. Um, and the thing is, and people don't understand. I have to be selective as to when I wear it because of what the type of job that I do. Because there could be a job where I could be working underground. Well, if I'm working
Right.
underground, I got to be wearing pants because my
You'll
God,
you'll
the
fuck them
trash can
up.
get all over.
Yeah.
Or even working 20 feet up in the air. Well, you go up 20 feet up in the air, you're going to end up ripping something unless you got pants on.
Right. Yeah. And
So,
also you probably end up, giving people the like the aerial view, like they're beneath you. You don't want
oh
to
crowd does gather, and I allow them, to see things.
you
I
start
gotta have
doing start pulling a Marilyn Monroe over the steam vent kind of thing. Ooh,
a.
I'm so
I'll make sure I
sorry.
have a kilt on when I do it. Yes.
But no, I get it. You don't want to. You have to be up there because if you're against like some sort of wood, like it's gonna tear them. I mean, you don't
Oh,
want to.
it's gonna tear the hell out of them. Yeah.
What's the most expensive pair of pantyhose you've worn to work?
Oh my God, the most expensive pair probably would have to be, believe it or not, my Cecilia de Raphael Jiminy 40s.
Eek. Did they last?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
I still have them. I've worn them several times since then.
What are you wearing today? Again, today, are you wearing what do we got going on here?
I am wearing by Sunny Pandex, her Starry Night tights today. The
Starry
question,
Night.
yeah, what are you wearing today? I can't even see your legs, man.
Well, it's because I'm very tall and my angle, but I'm wearing okay. So I don't actually know the name of these because these were a gift. But believe it or not, the top of the pantyhose actually have a cotton like the way tidy whities have like a cotton thing around the top, like with the spandex thing that like snaps.
Oh, cool.
It's full. It's completely seamless except for
Right.
the top that's like underwear. It was some male pantyhose that were made and discontinued like years ago, and I
Oh,
got them as a
wow.
gift, and they're fucking awesome. And I'm ruining the day. I'm every
Uh,
time I put them on, I'm like, once they get a run in them, I'm going to be inconsolable because that you can't get them anywhere. I think
yeah.
I can find out the name if I look back on an older video I did from Tights From Mine, because I think I did it part of my pantyhose box opening. But to bring things back to where we were going,
Yes.
Rob and I are imploring, we're begging, beseeching, and pleading that if you are somebody who is wearing openly in whatever city, town, whatever place you are, if you are doing that, please post your face, because, and here's why, okay? And I think Rob and I think we shared like similar thoughts on this, but if I'm leaving anything out, please jump in.
Oh, absolutely.
If, again, like Rob said, if you are brave enough to wear them in public where you could be recognized by people then I don't understand the fear of being recognized by people you don't, because that's the internet. Also, if you think that your job or your boss or whatever, if you think they're watching you online, they very well may be, but they're not watching for this kind of thing. They're watching you to make sure that you're not doing things that are illegal. Like that's what, a job like that would entail. If you're working for government, they want to make sure that you're not doing anything that's going to get them in trouble. And
Right.
what's not going to get them in trouble is you wearing pantyhose
Yeah.
in any way. And I know that it's tough to even hear that. I know people are going to say, oh, but you don't know my job. No, you don't know my culture. No, you should do it, because here's why. Let them come at you and then see what happens when you get the kind of groundswell support. Because I will literally, if that happens to you, write us. I know people in newspapers. I'm gonna get a story about this out there, and I can
Oh yeah.
get like you want the internet to go off because that happened to what was it, Paul? The Mormon, the former Mormon. Oh shit, I'm forgetting his name.
Oh,
Paul
so
Dwayne,
I
is
know
it?
you're Paul Dwayne, Soul
Like
Anarchist.
he got ripped on, right? Some guy was trying to rip on him at the airport or something, and
Yes,
then
yeah.
it went
He was
viral.
taking,
And
a picture, and he was taking a video, and he sees him in the background and starts ripping on him.
yeah, and then apparently the entire internet was like, "Fuck you, dude. Whatever. Like, leave the guy alone." And that was that. Like the
Yeah.
troll tried to troll him and got stamped down. And also, you can become part of the community more and more if you do show your face. And we're going to offer actually a little bit of a reward for anybody who's doing that. Now, I I'm going to say this now. If you have, what were you pulling up? What's this?
Cara hosiery right here.
Oh, snap! You have them on hand. Oh,
I have
wow.
I have a pair of XL Cara hosiery. These are her, if I'm not mistaken, her tuxedo striped tights
Oh, fancy.
right here. You will hear this first. If
Okay.
you want, and we're going. This is a contest here.
Yes. Now
If you would like
here are
to
the rules, the
win, there.
stipulations. Let's sum the stipulations first. So, okay, if you want to come in for first place, which would include not just that brand new pair of Cara hosiery that Rob held up, but you also will get a free month of our Patreon in addition to that, where you get to get the extended bonus content and whatnot. We will also have you on the show to talk to you about your experiences. Now, this has to be you showing a face of you standing outside wearing. Now, the next tier down would be if you are going to, if that's too much for you, which maybe it is for people, I get it. If you can take a picture of yourself inside with your face showing wearing, then the reward for that will be you get a free month of Patreon and we will have you on the show. So if you're debating on having, if you want to do this, then this is your chance. And also for all you guys out there, I know who's shown their face before and who hasn't. And if you've shown your face before and you try to pull a fast one on me, it's not going to happen. Although we'll probably have you on the show because we really do want to talk to anybody who is brave enough to show their face, because that's the thing. The more people show their face, the less stigmatized it gets. And at this point in time, it's something you can do. I really believe that it's something you could do. So everybody out
Yes.
there listening, prove us right, because Rob and I are completely incapable of ever believing that we are incorrect. We are narcissistic and we are vain and we live in a bubble.
He got us down to a T.
And we do not take no for an answer unless the
No.
answer we want is no. So but for in all seriousness, we want you guys to do this. And another reason why we need to do this is because of another wonderful ambassador for Pantyhose that I discovered on the internet. I don't know if you guys know a little known performer by the name of Kanye West, but Kanye is he's an out and proud tight supporter. And
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not particularly thrilled that he's on our team. Not the best brand ambassador. And the backlash that he got from wearing the tights outside with his wife, and I will actually I'll post a picture in the show notes. It's fucking bizarre. He's out walking with his wife, who is dressed in, well, I can only say it looks like a giant it's sort of like a giant inner tube where
Look
the
like he's
rest
got
of,
a turtleneck.
yeah, a giant turtleneck where her arms and her head are completely like encased with pantyhose. Like
Yes.
she's like her face is distorted. You can't really tell what she looks like. And right there you see that and you're like, oh, okay. I know what's going on here. He's part of the team. And ordinarily I would be thrilled. But Kanye, no, Kanye, not a lot of bad things you've been up to lately. I think, just being Jewish myself, I'd be like, no, don't think I like that. Don't think I dig it. I don't like that. But what I do like is we having people out here listen who can be the anti Kanye. Like we need people to step out because instead, if we don't, we have people like Mary Martin and Kanye West. And we don't want that. We don't want that.
We want more people. If we are I hear, and I hear this familiar cadence all the time. Like I wish somebody would just say that it's okay for guys to wear pantyhose. I
It
wish
is.
it's guess what? Here's your permission. It's
It's
okay.
okay. I can guarantee you
Do it.
nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Nothing.
Everybody I've talked to who has worn publicly after they've done it the first time, it's yes, it's nerve-wracking. You are nervous, but you're the only person who's feeling that. Most people, if I mean if any, are not paying attention. And if they do, it's a side glance and that's it. And let's face it, you kind of like enjoy that aspect of it, don't you? I mean, don't you wear outfits to get noticed? I mean,
Yes.
you got to be comfortable with the fact that like there's a part of you that wants to be looked at. That's okay. I mean,
Yes.
I mean like you're allowed to be a little vain, you're allowed to be a little egocentric. It's cool.
You're
We all
you're
are.
allowed, you're allowed to peacock as much that's the way you call it. You're allowed to peacock as much as you want. Be as loud as you want. Be as crazy as you want. Where I mean, color coordinated at
Well,
least.
don't be as crazy as you want because then you'll be like Mary and Kanye.
No, we're not getting that crazy. But
You
but
don't
the,
be
but
yeah. Be as
but the
be
fact
as
of the matter is,
crazy in a fun way,
crazy in a fun way. But
like
yeah, I mean,
Bjork.
change up your colors. But if you want to do skin tones, wear skin tones. Wear them with socks. Wear them without socks. Wear them with sandals. I don't care. Paint your toenails. Do
Well,
do whatever.
don't wear them with sandals.
No, but
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
if that's all you got, okay, fine. But really,
Well, we got
you don't
some
want
that
to
are
look
out
like
there.
Nana, do you? Because that's all I can think of is like that's sort of what old women did.
Sorry, only around the house. So come on.
Around the house is fine. I mean, I wear Hooter shorts around the house. I don't wear them outside.
No.
Like I don't go to the. I mean, like I mean, like look, if I was like, look, I'm not gonna put on anything like that. I mean, because my camera, the way it's set up, like I can barely catch my legs as it is. Because the only way I can get full leg shot is I go super far from the mic, and you
Yeah.
can't hear me
Same.
that well.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, I got to sit back. I mean, like this
Do
and
you
pull
hear
my
me well?
legs up. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, but how do I sound?
Yeah. You sound far away.
Thank you. That's the conundrum that is my existence, which, by the way, I want to remind everybody for those of you listening to this podcast and thinking, what are these two lunatics talking about? We actually have the video version available on our Patreon. Every episode we do has a video element to it and is available on our Patreon. You can sign up. Also, if you want to, you can sign up on Rob's OnlyFans. There will be things popping up there from time to time that have to do with the channel. We'll be making guest stars, guest appearances. We may even be recording an exclusive episode for his OnlyFans that will not be available even on the Patreon. Who knows? I mean,
Ooh.
I'm just saying, you can never tell because we are absolutely insane in love for pantyhose.
Totally nuts. Totally nuts.
Yes, totally nuts. Speaking of nuts, no, but for real. So if anybody out there is willing to like match us up, then we'll go for it. And you know what? If we get multiples, I will throw in and we will get awards for anybody. If we get 5 people, fuck it. I will literally find a way to give everybody the same reward if they do the thing that we ask. If you take a picture of yourself face showing outside, then you will win. Like I mean, I guess the worst possible outcome would be that like thousands of people do this and we'd be like, oh crap, we can't really afford that. But that would not be a bad outcome. That would just be like, okay, wow, mission accomplished. Right?
Yeah. It's one thing to just constantly show your legs, which don't get me wrong, that's great, but
No,
it's
because
also
some of y'all have
boring.
nice legs, and we know this, and you
Sometimes they
know
have some
this.
fantastic legs. But
Yes.
what I'm saying is, it's like, show a little more style. Put yourself out there. Show that you're more than just showing your legs. Show that, I don't care if you cross
Well,
dress. I don't care. I don't care who you are. Show us who you are.
But I do believe that I think, well, the thing about it is like a lot of these pictures I see, there's tons of style. Like these are very color coordinated, very well thought out
Yeah,
outfits. It's
yeah.
just the face has a blurred out. And I'll see pictures of guys who are working out at the gym and they're blurring their face out for the like on Twitter for the pictures they post of themselves wearing pantyhose at the gym. And I'm like, why?
Why?
What are
Because
you
you're
afraid
already
of?
at the fucking gym.
Like if somebody, I mean, I'm a personal trainer. I wear pantyhose when I train my clients. Nobody's ever said anything. So I can tell you from experience, that's just not going to happen. And like it's unless you are living in, and I know that we don't have any listeners from like the Middle East. So, you know, we're kind of talking to nobody, but unless you're in a society where your physical safety is threatened because you're basically doing anything that's from the norm, that's an excuse. But in America, I'm going to say you can get away with it. You can
Yes.
because the
Even in Europe and places you can get away with it. Because I
well,
talked to so many Europeans.
Europe has been like always ahead of the trend. Like Europe,
Oh my God, yeah.
they don't care. They're not as like and I will say this too. There's elements of homophobia into it, and you know people are worried. Like people are worried. Well, people, what if people think I'm gay? Well, what if they do? It's not a problem unless you think it's a problem. And so if somebody thinks you're gay, then okay,
Guess what?
like
Who cares?
somebody can think I can think anything. I can think Rob is, you know, Jessica Rabbit. It does not make it true. Although you are Jessica Rabbit, I can tell.
I'm sexier than her. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You do. And you know, you do have that crazy bunny that you play with all the time. Because like,
Mm,
mm-hmm, patty cake the
absolutely
bunny.
crazy.
But I mean, but the truth of it is, like, who cares if somebody thinks you're gay? If you're not gay, if you're bi, who cares? It doesn't matter. In fact, if they do think that, that just means they want to fuck you. Okay, that's what it means. If somebody is concerned about who you're fucking, that's because they want to fuck you. So take it as a really sad compliment. Just go up to that person and be like, "Oh, you like me, don't you?" And then just walk away because that's really what it is.
To
I
me, it's
don't
like,
care.
oh, you're jealous. You can't do it like I
Yeah.
can.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Like, oh, you don't have bravery. But
no.
at least you have your unrequited lust. So, you know, I'm just saying, I got you there. But I'm just saying, you guys, it is so the time to do this. Like we want to be one of many. The ideal thing would be that this podcast becomes obsolete because guys, I mean, because there's so many of us. There's so many of us. Think about it. 90% of the sales that happen through all of these companies that we talk to, I think it was 90% for Sony. I think 90% for Shapings. What was it? Something 60% for what did Cara say? Something high. It was over.
Yeah, Chrissy said it was like between 40 and 60%. I mean,
Yeah.
the state of our world, the state of our pantyhose world, our men's pantyhose world has gotten so crazy for us. You've got online stores now that have men's sections in it. You've got uh, you've got the hosiery boutiques now, especially your smaller companies. They recognize that men are the majority of their sales, and they're catering to us men. What more do you need to know? What
Like
more do you need to
there's
see?
people there are companies that are showing models where male models wearing pantyhose and they
Yes.
look fine. And it's just if you are still stuck in 2012 with the backlash that happened against the Mantyhose company,
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta pull yourself out of there and just remember it's 11 years later and a lot changes in 11 years. Like this isn't like this the we live in the age of, you know, the internet. Like things change very quickly, and right now the political climate, it is in complete support of you doing this. People can't fuck with you for being
Mm-hmm.
different, because if they do, that gets them in trouble. And use that to your advantage. If that's what it takes, you know, it's fine. Do it. Like it's a Pride Month for all of our LGBTQIA plus listeners. And I before E and except after the no sorry. Okay. So and I can say and I can joke about that, okay, because I am one of the LGBT like I'm an LGBT. It was a lettuce, bacon, gay, tomato. So I'm one of them, so I can crack the joke. And if anybody has a problem with it, I will show you my card. I've been certified since 2002. God, it's been long since 2002. I've been certified part of the club since then, registered as a homosexual, a Kinsey 4, if you almost know. I did, I've had a few slips and I've done it with, a few girls, but I'm just kidding. Yep. Who knows? One day I was leaving for a party and saw Selma Hayek and From Dusk Till Dawn, and before you know it, I was on the couch just having it, just having away at myself. And I thought, oh my god, am I straight? Oh my god, am I straight? Oh no! Like I was worried. It's terrifying,
Well,
Those
it's
scary,
terrifying, absolutely scary.
dude.
Like when you put on pantyhose, does that make you gay? No, it doesn't make you gay. But
No,
you know what? You know what it makes you? It makes you yourself.
yeah, it only it's like now if you are fucking some guy in the ass as you're putting your pantyhose on, maybe. But I think that
Maybe.
has to do more with the fact you're fucking a guy in the ass. Uh,
Yeah.
God, it tires me so much to hear that. Like, and it's also sad to hear people asking that question. So, does wearing pantyhose make me gay? No, asking that question does, because that's not a question that a straight man asks. And I'm just being honest. Like, if you have to announce your sexuality in order to feel okay, if you have to say, I wear these, but I'm this, it's like, methinks the lady doth protest too much. I don't feel the urge to be like, I wear pantyhose and I'm gay, because like, okay. Like
Okay.
also, but I will say this, it was one of the best parts of coming out was I thought, okay, I'm gay. My biggest fear was they're gonna call me gay. I can wear pantyhose now because what's the worst that can happen? Oh, what are you,
Right.
gay? And I'd be like, yeah. And then they're just like, But again, it doesn't matter. If you are gay, straight, bi, tie, it doesn't matter. You can wear them. And if somebody's judging you, it's their weakness. And you should know that. Know that you have more courage. You have more, you have more like zest for life. You are a stronger and more like fulfilled person if you do
Yep.
this. It
Remember,
will,
remember, it's not your problem, it's their problem.
yeah.
You, you're the one that has gone out there. You're the brave one. You're the one that's gone out there and said, I've broken that mental chain. I'm going to feel free. Would you rather feel free, or would you rather feel repressed? Would you rather feel free and be able to wear and do whatever you want, or do you want to be stuck in being afraid of somebody going, I'm going to tell your secret?
And let me ask you something, because your kids, were you wearing by the time when your kids were born, were you wearing publicly, or how old were they when you started to wear it in front of them?
When All right, both of my kids were in elementary school when I first started wearing them.
So they were young.
Yeah, they were young. I think at the time my oldest was 10 years old, my youngest was 8, and I wore them openly at the elementary school. I wore them openly in the middle school, and the teachers knew about it. They asked about it. I told them. When they were in high school, I was right in front with the marching band pit crew, helping out, lifting heavy stuff right there. And I remember the first night, for the very first game, and I found the guy who ran the pit crew, who's a former Marine. And this dude, he goes, and as I'm walking, he's telling me what's going on. He goes, by the way, son, and I
He
was
called
wearing
you son?
shorts. He called me son. Yeah, this dude's like maybe 30 years my senior.
Oh, okay.
And I had on cargo shorts and off black active supports. And he sit there and goes, son, I got to ask you something. What the hell's that on your legs? I said, they're support pantyhose. How come? I said, well, they help me out. Do they really help you out? I said, damn straight they do. They're godsend. And I don't care what fucking color I wear. I'm gonna wear what I'm gonna wear. But also, you can find me. I'm gonna be one of the hardest damn workers you ever find. He goes, works fine with me. All right, let me show you what I need you to do. And I
Also,
wear them in
and I
front of
also want to
thousands.
say, how much you want to bet he went and got some? Because if somebody's on at their feet all the time, no, I'm serious. Like he probably was like, that shit works. It
Yeah,
really works.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this: like, if they are if they're the tight ones, now, okay, if you're wearing like five denier, no, like those
No.
are not going to do anything. And anybody
No.
who's trying to say that, no, come on, like, let's be
No.
honest. But if you get 30 and upward, and they are really like, they actually have some, like, constriction to them, they can
Yep.
help with like
Yep.
having to walk around all day or be on your feet all day. It helps. Like, it does help. It keeps the blood flow going. It's nice.
And I've shown up in, in my medical hosiery, because there were times I would was having a very bad RLS day. I would show up and they were like, holy crap, dude, what the hell you have going? I said, these are on the 30-40s, which is like the highest you can go in constriction. And I literally said it right in front of them. I mean, ladies and everything. I said, yeah, these things are so damn tight they make your head pop and your dick hard. And they were like, okay. And I told him, I said, I'm having a real bad day. I know I'm going to be on my feet because we got a festival that we're running. So where do y'all need me? And they had me work in the parking lot, bringing all the buses in, guiding all the bands to all their different places right off the parking lot.
Yes.
And I was the go-to guy.
And Rob, yes, he's very, what Rob's trying to say is he's very strong, and he does a lot of manly work, and he's very
Yeah.
tough. But the real thing, that the real takeaway here is that if somebody is going to ask you, they may ask you, it's very likely
They're
they're
going
going
to
to ask
ask.
you what you're wearing or why you're wearing. The
Yes.
conversation is more than, like, I'd say 95%, for me, 100%. It ends after you give the reason. My
Yes.
reason was I like them. That was it. The conversation has to end there, because what's the follow up? That they say, what are they going to say? Well, you shouldn't wear these. I'd be like, well, what you shouldn't do is be
Yeah.
talking to me right now, because
Yep.
you think that what you're saying is necessary, and it is not.
Exactly.
I mean, I you should welcome people asking, because in more cases they're curious for themselves.
Yeah.
You've got somebody who wants to do it, and you're being a way for them to see it in real life and just go, oh wow, I didn't realize that was even a choice, because I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that it is a choice.
And you're going to find more people are going to give you more compliments than
Mm-hmm.
you'll get more positive feedback than you'll ever get negative. I'll tell you the amount of positive feedback I get with my hosiery and with my style and everything else, and it's all how you style it too and how you present yourself. If you present yourself like saying, "Oh my God, look at me, look at me, look at me," then yeah, you're going to get some negative comments. But if
Well,
you
wait a minute, you
present
have to
yourself,
clarify what look at me, look at me, look at me is.
if you're literally just saying, "Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me," literally,
Well, that would be a strange thing to do. Look at
that
me,
would be
look at
very
me, look at me.
no, that would be a very strange thing to do. On the other hand, if I'm dressed like I'm dressed right now, I can literally walk out of my house dressed like this, and people would not bat a fucking eye. Not one thing. I might get a few looks, and I might get people. I've actually had people ask me, "Hey, where'd you get those? Those look for really fucking cool."
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Most people are just
Here,
curious. Curious. That's it. Curious. No malice, no aggression. And I can promise you again, if you're worried about your boss or whatever, your job discovering you online for wearing an article of clothing where you're completely dressed, and by the way, you're completely
yep,
dressed, you could not
yep,
get in trouble for wearing, and this goes without saying, but like this, when we're saying being dressed in public, we're talking about you're not doing anything that could violate any sort of like decency laws. Like, if you're
no,
wearing, I knew a guy who insisted on wearing tights without anything beneath, and it was basically like, I was like, I would never ever be seen with you in public like that, because
no,
that is that's inappropriate. We don't Nobody needs to see the outline of a dick,
no,
because that's non-consensual. But we're talking about, if what you're wearing is not going to get you in trouble with the law, then you're good to go. Wear it, embrace it. You will be like set free. It will be scary for about the 15 minutes you do it, and then you're going to come home and you're going to be like electrified with the, oh my God, I just did that. Oh my God, that just happened. Oh my
yep,
God, and I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Like, nobody
yep.
killed me. I'm still alive, and you will still be alive. And then what we want is for you to come on the show and tell us that story, and
I'm gonna
let's
tell you
start a
something.
movement.
It's one of the most. It's that for that first time you do it. It's the most. I still remember exact detail. The very first day I went out in pantyhose without, without in shorts, and
Where
and
it
my
was
wife didn't even.
noticeable.
Yeah, and it was noticeable and everything. Not one person did a thing. Not once.
And it's actually kind of a bummer now. I don't know if you know it's being a long time wearer, but now it's like I feel like I know that I'm so comfortable wearing that
Yeah.
I don't project any sort of thing. So no, sometimes it's just like nobody even says a damn thing. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like nobody, it's
Yeah.
like
It, it,
normal.
does- it does get like that. It gets so normal, and it gets so to the point where I mean, you could sit there and be there and just it's
Yeah,
right there. What?
you basically have to be like, hello.
Hi, how you doing? You literally almost have to do the whole look at me kind of thing.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna stretch a little bit here. You ever get cramps in your legs?
Yep.
You know,
So,
oh, I got an itch on my foot right here. I just, like that's the only way it's going to be noticeable. But you know what, but at the same time, I think I know you would agree with me is
oh
that
yeah.
it's I can't imagine going back. It's so it's such a bummer to imagine like having to go back to being uncomfortable with what I wanted. That
Yeah.
was, I mean, if what you want does not hurt anybody, then do it. Do it.
If it feels good, do it.
Unless it's murder.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. And also don't write any books called Pantyhose Punishment. Mary, if you're listening, and I don't think you are, because I don't know if you're probably under heavy medication right now, but if you are listening and you want to come on the show and talk to us about the experiences you've had as a woman who who with your naughty boy kicking in the womb, I'd love to
Naughty,
have you on the show.
naughty.
You're a naughty fetus. You're so kicky. So yeah, Mary, I'd love to have you on the show. We can talk about psychiatrists and psychologists and maybe a few that you might need to, go see, or if you've seen one at all. Yes, I know that's not nice of me to drag, but yeah, some people are just wackadoodles. And that's why we're imploring everybody out there, our listeners who we know, we've talked to you guys. We know you. You're normal, everyday, completely like adjusted. You're productive citizens. You contribute to society. You have family.
Yes.
You have friends. People like you. You're awesome. Why are you hiding an aspect of yourself if that's who you are? If you're an awesome person, why are you hiding awesomeness? Don't do that. That's unfair to everybody, but mostly yourself,
Be
because
yourself.
you're denying yourself the end. Look, as far as we know, the only evidence, I have not seen evidence otherwise. You only get one go around in this life, right? I
Yep.
have not met anybody that has died that has come back and said, I'm here for the sequel. Um, so without getting too deep into it, for argument's sake, we only got one shot and then we're gone. If something brings you joy and it doesn't hurt anybody, then depriving yourself of that joy is basically you're just saying, like, you'll look back on it and be like, I could have had that much more joy. And I didn't, because of what I was afraid might happen. And
Yep.
Rob and I are here to tell you that whatever you're afraid of happening, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Believe me, it's not going to happen.
Like we will. I mean, I will literally eat a piece of chalk. I will, I'll get a big piece of chalk, like the kind they use on chalkboards. If somebody has a truly negative experience where they wear out for the first time and somebody comes up and gives them shit, I'll eat a piece of chalk live on the camera. I'll be like, all right, I'll eat. Because I mean, because I was going to say, I know the expressions eat shit, but not going to happen. Okay. I'm
Not
not
happening.
divine. This isn't a John Waters film. I'm not going to be doing that, but it won't happen. Like, it just won't. People are not going to give you any crap. In fact, the crap that you're getting the most is from yourself. It's your inner voices that are doing this.
Yep.
And it's okay to tell that voice to just shut the fuck up.
Yep.
I mean, I know I have it there. We all have parts of our personality that are negative, that tell us we shouldn't do this, that we're weird, or we're going to get made fun of. There's that part of we all have that says, that wants to just pick away, that self-destructive nature that we all have as humans. And every once in a while, if you just tell that voice, shut up,
and let your freak flag fly.
yeah, but here's the thing: it's not a freak flag. It's
Nope.
based. It's only recently discovered the freak flag is just a flag. You just are a flag. That's it. It's
That's it.
it is not a big deal. It's so not a big deal. It's like it's almost like a tragic comedy the way us wearers are so terrified to want to tell our spouses or to wear publicly. And I mean, I get the idea, but I get the fear. But here's the thing: again, if you are with somebody who is going to leave you over the fact that you wear clothing that they find to be against their idea of what normal is, then they're limited. Like, that's a limited person, and that's not your problem, that's their problem. Then they
Yeah.
should be willing to go into therapy and talk it out. And if they can't talk it out, then, honestly, you could do better. You could do better. I mean, there are people out there who aren't complete shits, who don't
And if
like,
they don't like it, well, bless their hearts, I swear.
yeah, I'd be like, oh, you don't like it? Okay, well, that's good. I didn't realize that, like, could you think outside of the frickin' box? Or are you just like not capable of gray? Everything has to be black and white because that's the only thing you can understand. It's like two shades and that's it. Otherwise, anything
Make
else.
it spicy. Make it spicy, man.
Mm-hmm. And that I think that's the gist of the episode, I think, right? Don't you think?
Absolutely. And we want to say thank y'all for listening today.
Mm-hmm. If yes, and for real, guys, come on, make us proud, the proud papas, if as it were.
And if you're interested in telling your story, if you're interested in coming on the air and tell us all about your journey and what you do, your style, and everything. If you want to be part of our wonderful family here, just give us a buzz. Just hit us
Mhm.
up on
You can hit us
Patreon.
up,
Hit
Patreon.
us up on, yeah,
You can hit us
Instagram.
up on where I mean, both Rob and I are active on Instagram. You can hit
Yep.
either one of us up. We're on Facebook, or well, actually, no, you're not on Facebook, are you?
Yes, I am. I am
You
on
are, but you
Facebook.
don't check it that much, do you?
Well, I'm on there for several for my business and also for several different forums. I just don't really post too much.
Yeah, but you can find me on Facebook. And if not, my email, the Pantyhose King at proton.me. And Rob, do you want to give your email?
And you can find me. Just go to speed. That's SPEEDKNG 2112 at gmail.com. You can also, but the best place to find me is on Instagram at Darth_Rob_Speed King. You'll see me on there. I am always posting every single day, almost every single day.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Uh,
yes, he is obsessed with himself.
I am so obsessed with myself.
He's
Oh
got
my
like
gosh.
he's not met a mirror. He does not like. Hello, gorgeous.
Oh
And if
my
you
God, my Lord, I look so good for the camera.
you're like, I gotta just stop. I just so and if you want to reach me on Instagram, I'm the Pantyhose King. And if you want to reach the official Tights Frame of Mind, it is at Tights Frame of Mind, all one word. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back next time with some special guests. We got special guests coming up. We got people in the works. We got wearers. We got makers. We got
All kinds
candlestick
of stuff.
makers. Like that didn't make sense. I was like, because I kind of was like butcher baker, candlestick maker vibe going on.
We've got more stories to tell you guys. We've got more our own personal stories that we'd like to tell you. We just don't want to tell you guys all at once. Then but we've got movers and shakers. We've got people coming up. We've got so much going on that we can't reveal it all just yet. So because
No, we
something.
can't reveal it all. Also, you want to know why though? Because we haven't even thought of it.